Hello, everyone. Renee Funk here with the Funk Collection brokered by eXp Realty in Orlando, Florida. I'm coming on today to talk about a very hot topic, Clubhouse. Have you heard of the Clubhouse app? Many of you have been reaching out to say, how do I get on the app? What is the app? What's this instant craze of a new social media app and platform that many are talking about? Before we get started with a few of the first tips that I've learned over about the last 9 days, I want to encourage you to drop any questions you have about the app in comments below, as I'm happy to answer any questions. As far as my observation, I have been on the app since December 29th. All right, so let's talk. What is the Clubhouse app? Well, the Clubhouse app is an app that kind of hit the marketplace of social media platforms around mid-December. From what many are saying, those first couple of weeks were a little bit quiet. And then just after the holidays, a bit of an explosion happened where everybody was focusing on Clubhouse. According to cnet.com, Clubhouse was founded by Paul Davidson and Rohan Seth. Now, what makes Clubhouse different, we might ask, and what is the sudden explosion in interest and demand for this app that is still in beta testing phase and is only currently available for iOS users? So, sorry, all those Android users at this time, not yet available. The web developers, the app developers have not yet released when they're going to roll it out for Android users. But for those who have one of these guys, you're in luck. You can go to the App Store right now and download the Clubhouse app. When you go to the App Store, it will look like this. Hopefully you can see that. Let's see. There's the Clubhouse app. It's called Clubhouse Drop-in Audio Chat. We're going to get into a few of the first early observations I've been making as a user, and want to just remind all of you, please drop your questions in below. I am absolutely happy to share with you anything that I've picked up on and the tips and best practices that I'm observing in the app. So with the Clubhouse app, what makes it different? Well, number one is it is an audio-based only social media platform. Audio-based only. So what does that mean? That means there's no DMs. That means there's no private messages. That means, by and large, there's no written communication between two parties or more. All of the communication taking place in the app is audio. What does it remind me of? It reminds me of, well, kind of the radio shows of yesteryear meets podcasting meets the ability for us to, with one-click access, directly communicate with an incredible amount of collaboration on the fly, on an app. So very interesting that there's no written communication between parties. The only written word that we will find when we go on the Clubhouse app is, of course, on our bios that we can update, and then in the rooms with your title descriptions and room descriptions. So with that, let's get into what is Clubhouse lingo. I learned very quickly when I joined Clubhouse back so long ago, December 29th, that there's a whole different lingo on Clubhouse. When you're on the Clubhouse app, you're going to hear things like party hat. Well, what's a party hat anyway? Party hat is going to be a little icon that designates when a new user joins the app. And that party hat stays on the bio of the user for about the first 7 days. Why is that an important aspect of the app? Well, because users that have been on the app longer than 7 days and your fellow Clubhouse users are probably going to know then that you're a newbie to the app and give you a little extra Clubhouse love, maybe giving you a little extra special welcoming and showing you the ropes as to the etiquettes and the lingo that we're going to share right here. So I was kind of interesting to see that my party hat fell off on that day 7. And it's a bit of a no more party hat celebration, maybe. Okay, so we have Chris saying the platforms all have their own dynamics and they are interesting, but what do you see is the real difference in your opinion? Is it just buzz because it's new, or is there a significant difference? Chris, that's a really good question. So I think that Clubhouse, from what I've experienced, comes at a very interesting time. We've all been so pushed into the need to do video conferencing so much. So we've been doing tools like Zoom and all of the video conferencing tools that we have. I do believe that Clubhouse comes at interesting timing because it's audio only. And so it's a bit refreshing to not have to, number one, be on a camera to connect. It's also a lot more convenient to have collaborative conversation with one click. So when you first enter into the Clubhouse app, we go back to the Lingo conversation, the place that you land in Clubhouse is called the hallway. The hallway is going to be made up of all of those that you choose to follow, the rooms that either those users decide to schedule for themselves to host, or if you're following someone who steps into a room and then decides to raise their hand to become a speaker, you as that follower will be pinged to say, hey, Chris, Renee Funk, you follow her and she's in a room speaking right now. You should hop in that room and learn more or share and collaborate with this particular topic. So it is very interesting that we can have that collaboration, Chris, without having to turn our cameras on. And it is very fluid. So you can hop from room to room. If a topic doesn't seem to suit you, find a topic that does and move to the next room. On that note, there's no recording. It is an absolute violation of the TOS that we sign as users with Clubhouse to do any recording. So what's on the app stays on the app. Once it's gone, it's gone. There's no recording. Now, I think that very fact that there's no recording is creating what you may be hearing a bit of the FOMO marketing, fear of missing out. So there's two things. There's a bit of FOMO going on because not all users can gain access to the app. In fact, when you go to the App Store, even as an iOS user, you're typically going to find that there's a wait list. However, the current users do receive invites that we as users can assign out to other members who are looking to join Clubhouse and on the wait list. How does a current user earn those invites? Well, very simply, Clubhouse is awarding current users invites to give out based on how often they're on the app, how many times they're speaking, when they're engaging on the app, and then are those users scheduling and creating rooms that they're hosting. So the more that one is engaged in the app, the more probability they are to receive invites, to send those invites out to others to join who are on the wait list. So very interesting to see a bit of that FOMO, right? Not everybody can get on board yet. It's still beta tested, only available for iOS. Very interesting to see how that is exploding. Patrick Lynch, you said Voxer. Similar to Voxer, but Voxer is one-way communication, right? So Patrick, when we're on Voxer, we're sending a message in, the message goes out, and the message sits until the recipient receives it, listens to it, and then when the recipient decides to reply. This is real-time communication. So very interesting, very similar. In fact, I'm with a real estate brokerage, eXp Realty, and we have a program and software that was developed by Verbella. It's called eXp World. And we actually have our mobile version of eXp World is very similar to the Clubhouse app that we can hop on and have that two-way communication. So that's very much what it reminds me of. Chris says, thank you. It sounds convenient and very interesting. I've asked a few people that have questions, and this is by far the best answer. Thank you for painting a good picture that I could envision and relate to. Well, Chris, make sure you connect with me. If you're an iOS user, shoot me a DM or feel free to drop additional questions in, because I'm happy to answer any questions. It's been a very interesting not even 2 weeks now, very interesting time on the app. So as I was mentioning, when you first land into Clubhouse, you're going to land in what's known as the hallway. Your hallway is established based on who you're following. So right now I'm following, and I can show you, I'm following here. Let's see if I can get it in. There we go. I'm following 467. Okay, technology. 467 users, and I have 1,928 followers. So my hallway is going to be filled with the rooms of those who I am following. Choose wisely. If you end up following somebody that might talk about a topic that isn't all that interesting, you can always unfollow them, but your hallway is really set up based on the people you're choosing to follow, so it can also be quite fluid. All right, let's talk about a couple of the other lingos that are kind of new as I've been picking it up. When you choose to go from the hallway to enter into a room, it's very likely that you're going to hear a couple different things that I had never heard before. And one of those is an acronym called PTR. Maybe others have heard it. I was a bit of a newbie to that acronym, so it means pull to refresh. And what that means is people are entering in a room to share conversation or listen into conversation and exiting rooms very frequently. So when you are in a room, if you pull down to refresh, it's going to refresh all of the members that are in that given room and show the users, show the speakers, and show the moderators who's listening in. What I have found to be so incredibly fascinating about the app is because it's so new, and because, number one, it's organic engagement, right? Like it hasn't been monetized. There's no ads yet. I'm presuming at some point there probably will. You're really having an opportunity as a user to step into rooms that have extremely high-minded, mastermind type content with incredible thought leaders. This weekend, I was in a room that Grant Cardone was running. That room had probably 1,000 Clubhouse users, and it went on for hours. I had stepped into the room to listen in on it. Another cool thing about the app is you can just turn it on and set it down as if you're listening to a podcast. So you can be a passive, engaged Clubhouse user, or you can be fully engaged and talk with the speaker by raising your hand to ask to come up on the stage and be a part of that stage to ask someone like a Grant Cardone a question. So to think that a lot of the collaboration and the high masterminds that are going on from these incredible thought leaders that sometimes would probably be well into six figures just to otherwise walk into the room is a very, very intriguing opportunity to learn from those who are coming together to collaborate just because they're clicking a button. So very interesting dynamic of people who have been on and sharing and collaborating. There are a lot of realtors that are on the app. I will say that the realtor community has seemed to really taken a liking to it. And in this particular live, while I'm taking a basic 101 best tips and practices, in future videos, I'll be talking about how realtors can build and strengthen relationships to serve their real estate business, as well as some best practices for moderating rooms. I'll be touching on those in future videos, so make sure you stay tuned. Additional lingo items that you will hear are going to be things like the stage and the audience. When you click on a room in Clubhouse, you're going to automatically be in the audience. That audience area of the room will default your mic to off. So your mic will be off anytime you open or go into a room. However, if you were to click in the room, on the little icon at the bottom right-hand side that says raise your hand. Now, again, I can't record. I couldn't record this app to show you all. I showed you my bio, which is fine, but I can't enter a room to show you because that could be a potential violation of the TOS. But what will happen is when you go into a room, you'll see on the bottom right-hand corner, you'll see a little emoji that says hand raise. If you're interested in speaking, you can raise your hand, and the moderators who are on the stage, who are typically going to be those who have organized the room, have the ability to pull you up on stage, and then you'll have the ability to open your mic. Now, one very important caveat, when you enter the stage, so when you've raised your hand, when the moderator has accepted your request for you to join them on stage, this is really important to remember. Your mic defaults to on. So when you're going to the stage, it's very important, again, bottom right-hand corner, that you automatically turn your mic off, because when you enter the stage, yep, your mic defaults to on. So really important tip to remember. And for those who are moderating, just remember as a moderator, when you invite someone to join you on stage, moderators also have the ability to turn the mic off of the speakers who are joining. So if you have that ability, just based on timing, depending on what screen you're on, you can do that. So good tip for moderators as well. Next thing I wanted to chat about are the bios. So super, super important to make sure that your bio is up to date. Make sure your bio is showing the most important features about your business or your preferences or passions that you have to attract those that you're looking to build more relationships with. So perhaps you're a wine lover, wine connoisseur. You might want to include in your bio that you love wine and list a couple things that you love about being a wine connoisseur. What I wanted to show you all is, let's see if this will let me do this. Let's see if I can do this. Going to share my screen. Here we go. All right. You should be able to see my screen now. So on the bio, if you look at, obviously you have your photo on the left, you have your username. I'm at Renee Funk, ReneeFunk. You're going to have your followers, and then you're going to have those that you are following. Now, the next 3 lines are critically important. You want to make sure that your first line of your bio is the most top level information that you want the bulk of the Clubhouse users to see. And why is that first line the most important? As a Clubhouse user, if I go to the search functionality to find fellow Clubhouse users, and I start typing in Renee Funk, then it's going to populate a shortened condensed version of the bio that only shows the first line. So when you're searching for a name, the bio populates along with the name, but only shows the first line in your bio. So that's very important. Additionally, when you're in a room, when people look at your bio with fellow Clubhouse room members, the bio will produce a short version that's 3 lines in its length. So in a room, when people are scrolling down the room to see which other Clubhouse users are in the room, when they click on your bio, they're going to see the first 3 lines. So for example, for mine, they'll see team leader, realtor, Orlando, Florida, NBA sponsor of the Orlando Magic, and then Inman, ambassador, and speaker. Those 3 lines will pull up. Not until they click on the bio will they receive all of the subsequent information that's in your bio. And one of the things that I think myself and a lot of the users have finding to be very nice that Clubhouse does is the bio is quite dynamic, and it allows you to put a very lengthy bio, which is contrary to what we've become accustomed to with Instagram and some of the other platforms. So you really can customize the bio the way that you most would like to do so. Let me go ahead and come back at you. All right, Chris says, have to go for now. Thank you for your help. Thanks for following along, Chris. Make sure that you drop more questions in here. I'm happy to answer them, and I'll be continuing to share as I learn, because the Clubhouse app is so new that a lot of this is brand new observations, and there's not a lot of information. When you start searching on the app, there's not a lot of information. Some of the inside Clubhouse whispers that I've been hearing in some of the rooms has indicated, and I don't know other than who I've read are the founders. I don't know the accuracy of this, but I've been hearing some say that the Clubhouse organization on the backside is a very intimate size, less than 10 employees working there. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. That's some of the kind of conversations going on in the app. So very interesting kind of buzz going on. We talked about bios. We went over some of the lingo, losing that party hat after about 7 days. Now, the invites, right? You'll see people saying online, I want an invite. Current users will begin to earn invites that they can assign out to any iOS user after the current user starts to become involved in the app. And actually, I should correct that. When you join, they're giving you one. So when you first come on to the app, you do receive one invite that you can give out immediately. And thereafter, it takes some time. The more you engage, the more you speak, the more you moderate rooms. And I've heard that when you're creating reoccurring rooms, that there is some additional weight that can be given because it's showing your activity in the app. So to date, I've received 4 invites in about 10 days. And that's the extent of the invites I've received. And I will also say before we wrap that the followers seems to be gaining quite fast. In the fact that I've been on for about 10 days, I've grown to 1,929 followers. And it is, that organic spreading, cascading effect. Things are happening very fast. There's been a lot of collaboration, and I have learned a ton from some of the most amazing real estate industries and business thought leaders that we have. I've been very fond of the app, and I look forward to continuing to learn more. So stay tuned. We'll be going live again next week to talk about how to best moderate a room, because it does matter. Your cadence matters. The way you organize the room matters. How you let speakers join you matters. These are all things that we've been testing out. I've learned quite a bit on that. So I'll be touching on how to moderate a room. And then I will be taking a deeper dive into timing on Clubhouse. It's very easy to spend a lot of time on that app. So I'm going to be talking about timing of rooms, time of day, and what is best to run a continuous room for many, many hours or to do certain time blocks. I'm hearing different things about both. So stay tuned. Thanks for following along. It's been a very interesting, wild ride on Clubhouse. I'm always here and happy to answer your questions. My name's Renee Funk. I'm with the Funk Collection, brokered by eXp Realty, and I appreciate you joining me today. Talk soon. Bye.